All right, hi everybody. I am Mr. Davis and I am in room A234. So the first video here is going to be on solving inequalities. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at how to solve inequalities just like we do equations. And then we're going to do a couple inequality word problems. So when we solve an inequality, we're going to solve inequalities like equations. Okay? So there's one trick to this. You have to remember to flip the sign if you multiply or divide by a negative, okay? So let's solve 2x plus 8 is less than or equal to 12, just like an equation. We'll subtract 8 from both sides. And our final answer will end up being x is less than or equal to 2. So what this solution means is that x could be -1, it could be 0, it could be 1, it could be any number, any real number up until 2, okay? So now let's continue this over here. So the first thing we want to do, we want to get all the way to the x. The first thing we have to move to the other side is the 3. So we're going to subtract 3. So we'll have -2x minus 4 over 4 is greater than 2. Okay? So remember, we're trying to get to the x. The next thing that's stopping us is this 4, so we're going to multiply both sides by 4. So -2x minus 4 is greater than 4 times 2 is 8. Okay? And then our next step, we're going to add 4. Okay, now here's where you have to remember what we said earlier. If we multiply or divide by a negative, we have to flip the sign. So when I divide by -2, I'm going to have x is now less than -6. And that is my answer. Okay? So what I want you to do is try the next two questions. And in a minute, I want you to pause the video and then we can compare our answers. Okay, so take a look and see how you did. And I want to point out one thing that you have to remember: when you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip the sign. So that's why it's x is greater than 3. Okay? So what we're going to do next is we're going to look at how to solve inequality word problems. Okay, next we're going to look at how to solve inequality word problems. So our situation is Gary's going to get ice cream. He has $5 to spend. If the sundae costs $2.75 and 75 cents per topping, how many toppings can Gary get on his ice cream? Okay? So we have to compare what he can spend to $5. Now the question tells us he has $5 to spend. That means he can't spend any more. He could possibly spend less, but he can't spend any more. Okay? So that means he can spend less than or equal to $5. And so now we're going to figure out, okay, well, how are we going to represent what he spends? So the sundae's $2.75, so you're going to pay that even if you don't get any toppings, okay? And then you're going to add 75 cents per topping. And so what you end up with is something like what we did on the previous page, okay? So let's go ahead and solve it. Okay, so this means that he can get less than or equal to 3 toppings. So he could get 2 toppings, he could get 1 topping, he could get 3 toppings. So take a second, try this next question, and then we'll compare answers in a minute. Okay, so let's take a look. So in the previous question, I forgot to define the variable. So you don't necessarily have to if the question doesn't ask you to, but it's always good to know what you're looking for. And so you go through and you can solve, and you should get that x is less than or equal to 3.18. Now, in the context of a problem, a store usually won't allow you to buy 0.18 pieces of jewelry, right? So the maximum that she can buy is 3 pieces of jewelry. I hope this video helped you. If you have any questions, please feel free to stop by my room, A234, and I'll be giving out the algebra students an MAP schedule so that they can come see me during MAP. See you next time.